Steroids after 4 months has done this to my back, and I gotta say it's worth it. After doing a bit of research, I found out that steroids actually give you back acne, and it's not great. My back is completely covered in scars, and it feels pretty terrible all the time, but I do like being able to go to the gym more.
It is hard to wrap your head around where we've come as an industry, if indeed he is lying. What's up guys, Derek, MorePlateSmart8s.com. Today we are finally reacting to the meathead John Joshua James. He is 4 months on gear, starting gear, immediately off the bat within 0 days. Like he literally started going to the gym and started hitting the sawzall immediately. Before pin 150 pounds versus 180 pounds in 4 months. Don't do what I do. Claims he is doing this as an experiment. This is his TikTok that went viral, 22 million views, about his back and why he is doing this.
Steroids after 4 months has done this to my back, and I gotta say it's worth it. After doing a bit of research, I found out that steroids actually give you back acne, and it's not great. My back is completely covered in scars, and it feels pretty terrible all the time, but I do like being able to go to the gym more. I finally hit 180 pounds, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
So that video completely blew up, 22 million views with over 13,000 comments, you know, and most people saying how he should get off. What is he doing? It doesn't even look like he's on gear. Why would you put your body through this for the results he's getting? You could get the newbie gains without the gear, just fucking do it naturally. Now this is kind of an interesting one because I do see the style of video he is doing, the really, you know, aggressive, like I almost feel like I'm watching like a Mr. Beast intro to a video, but it's about a guy doing gear who's never worked out, is like the impression I get. Like this is a viral focused endeavor and the entire page is centered around this starting juice when I started working out. He says here again, don't do what I'm doing. It's an experiment.
Steroids have not only made my back look like a bit of strawberry shortcake, but they've also made my shoulders way bigger than my arms. First day I went into the gym is the first day I started doing steroids, and it's not hard to tell. Not because I have any muscle to speak of, but because I have all the symptoms. I've been doing it for 4 months, and I'll show the before and after tomorrow, so you can follow if you want to see that. But so far, I like it.
He just speaks so nonchalantly, so casual about what he's doing. It's just an experiment. Don't do what I'm doing. So far, I like it, so I'm going to continue. And I think this is a interesting, probably a first time ever, if I'm correct, scenario of a guy who is a fake Natty. Does that even make sense? He is faking being on gear. That is what I think is going on. But let's watch a few more videos and then I'll give my, I have a challenge for this guy. Just put it that way.
This is me before doing steroids. Now, you've probably seen this image going around the internet lately. Well, this is me after doing steroids. But they didn't just give me irreversible back scars, it also gave me 30 pounds of muscle. Over the course of 4 months, I went up by 30 pounds, and I maintained a six-pack for the whole duration. But please don't do what I do. Why I took steroids my first day in the gym. Curiosity. I wanted to know what would happen if you combined beginner gains with steroids. No one's ever done it before, and I see why. My back is ruined and my shoulders and lats are growing faster than everything else. But it's also kind of fun, so I'm going to keep doing it. This guy made a video about me saying it's a bad idea, but interesting to see what happens. And I couldn't agree more.
So, is this actually true? Has it never been done before? It's been done before. There are people who have done it, and we've talked about it before on the channel. This guy, he has never lifted before, did a cycle of tests anyways, and this is what happened. And as you can see, he went from nothingness to like pretty fucking noticeably on gear, or at least made a shit ton of gains in a condensed period of time. And we've covered other individuals who pretty much sauced off the rip and kind of what happened in their physiques. This guy's physique is hard to wrap your head around the fact that it is enhanced. Now, with that said, obviously, you know, like everyone has their own response to gear, and some guys who are hypo responders will respond less favorably than the next guy. And he did start off like this. He was an absolute rail. I think he even mentioned in one of the videos that his forearm was bigger than his bicep when he started or something, because he was literally just like pure bone essentially, which, you know, obviously you got a long way to go to build any sort of appreciable mass to actually represent the visual perception of somebody who actually lifts weights. Because even if you pack on like 20 pounds of lean mass off the start, when you look like this, it's like, you know, you're only just starting to look like a guy who's actually like in the gym because he had such like a low baseline essentially. So what do I think exactly? Boom! Quick note from our sponsor, Seed Daily Symbiotic. This is the pre and probiotic supplement trusted by many, has a high level of trust in the industry, and is the reason why I let them sponsor the channel to begin with. This is a product that I was personally interested in trying. It is a 24 strain broad spectrum probiotic and prebiotic formulated for digestive, gut immune, and additional systemic benefits with 53.6 billion active fluorescent units. In addition to that, it features a unique ViaCap 2-in-1 delivery technology. It's a capsule in a capsule to protect against stomach acid, digestive enzymes, bile salts for viability through digestion, meaning it will actually get to the end of the small intestine for delivery into the colon. It's also sustainably delivered monthly in home compostable bio-based pouches that keep oxygen and moisture out. This is a product that I've seen anecdotally to improve the quality of life of several individuals at this point, especially those that had existing GI issues. Personally, for me, it's more of an insurance policy than anything, but you know, if this is something you find interest in, and otherwise the gut microbiome is an area that you also are want to actually find ways to optimize, which is something that I'm highly passionate about, and something that I initially even sought out, you know, the use of this product for initially when I first learned about it. Then you can check it out, the link in description below. It's seed.com/moreplates-more-dates. Use code moreplates-more-dates to get 40% off your first month supply of Seed's DSO1 Symbiotic with free shipping. This is a limited time offer as far as I know, the 40% off. So check it out and take advantage before it goes away. Thank you to Seed for sponsoring today's video, and back to our regularly scheduled programming. Well, actually, let's see what this not safe for work video is first. Watch
My nose bled for the first time since taking
Oh, fake blood.
steroids today. My doctor said this could easily happen if I pushed myself too hard, and looks like I did. Did get a nasty pump though. I'm starting to get cleavage. I'm used to bleeding from my mouth on account of me having really sharp teeth and accidentally biting my tongue, but this was definitely a first. I think I need to control my breath better.
Dude, what? He just bites his fucking tongue to bleeding while lifting? Like, there is just something fishy about this whole page, dude. Let's continue.
Since taking steroids, I've gotten a lot of comments like, all of that just to bench 185. I'll have you know, not only are you wrong, but you're complimenting me, because I bench way less than that. I can now bench 135, and 4 months ago I couldn't lift the bar, which is a great improvement, but you really should not take steroids when you start working out. But if you're still curious about doing that, then please don't.
Hey, this guy just seems like a troll to me. He's just like fucking around in the gym doing... Like, look at these dips, bro.
Bench 135, and 4 months ago I couldn't lift the bar, which is a great improvement, but you really should not take steroids when you start working out. But if you're
wearing like Elton John sunglasses while he's flexing in his khakis. And then this guy, he's not eating enough protein. I eat 2 grams per pound every day. Like that's way too much, bro. All of the responses he gives are like troll-like comments, seemingly. And interestingly, he has not broken down in clarity to provide clarity whatsoever on what exactly he's doing. Like, for an experiment to see what's happening, he does not seem to have many controlled variables or have given much context onto what is going on whatsoever. We just know, supposedly, he's never worked out. He stepped in the gym and started taking gear. Like, what are you on? What is your baseline blood work? What are you finding from your, experiment results? Supposedly you think this is the first time this has ever been done, so you would think you'd be keeping us in the loop with some sort of details, but in reality, I think this guy just had a really bad episode of back knee through genetic predisposition, and otherwise used the opportunity to claim that he got this side effect from gear in order to go viral on the internet. That is my potentially far-fetched guess. Maybe this guy is actually on gear, and maybe he is actually, performing this experiment in what he thinks is, a viable format, and he's totally interested in what's happening. It's all totally legitimate, but I don't see any signs of this being like a good experiment that is meant to even educate anyone on anything. He has essentially said, I am documenting it for us to all see what happens, but you have not provided any sort of breakdown of anything other than just this one statement and pictures of your side effects, supposedly. What is this? Redemption arc?
The steroids that I'm taking have ruined my back, but it's getting better. Or at least better than it was about a month ago. I'm not going to say how I'm treating it in case it has some side effects. I don't want to promote it, but I will say thank you to the viewer that recommended me try this. If you have any other tips, please let me know.
So, presumably he's on Accutane. Now again, you could argue what he just said. He doesn't want to promote gear, so he doesn't want to say what he's doing. But it's like, at the same time, like, what are you even documenting then? If it's not for the sake of having some sort of clarity on experimentation factors that go into this and all the variables accounting for these results, how is this an experiment that's worth publicizing in any capacity whatsoever at that point? Roid Boy is getting help.
Something
finally.
Unexpected has happened since taking gear. I expected my back to be ruined, but what I didn't expect is people to care about my back being ruined. And it's because of you guys that I might be able to fix it. Ever since I posted that first video a few days ago, I've been getting approached by a bunch of sponsors, offering me a ton of money that I could go see a dermatologist with. So I made an appointment. We'll see if I can fix it.
Okay, this is, I have to watch the last two and then I'll give, I have a challenge for this guy.
Stop asking about my balls. Since I started taking gear, the #1 question I get is what gear I'm taking. And I don't like to answer that. I don't want people to replicate what I do. The second most...
Dude, why would anyone replicate what you're doing though if all you've done is highlight how much they fucked you up?
asked question is, have my twigs and berries shrunk? Minus the skin flute, I'm happy to share all my research with you guys, but I draw the line at the man's sword. Steroids haven't made me big immediately, and they're not going to. Some folk have commented that they look just as good as me, and they're also only 4 months in, insinuating that what I'm taking is not making me any bigger. But everyone starts at a different place. For instance, this is me before working out. You can see that my bicep is actually smaller than my forearm. That's because you have 2 bones in your forearm, and I was all bones. If you follow me before I delete this channel, then maybe we'll see what I look like 8 months.
Alright, so this is the part that I think is worth highlighting. He says here,
I do. The second most asked question is, have my twigs and berries shrunk? Minus the skin flute, I'm happy to share all my research with you guys.
I'm happy to share all my research with you guys. Okay, so here's what I would propose. This is only going to be a viable experiment if you have blood work before and afters, I would think. Or at least, and by the way, if you're using Accutane, which I'm assuming you are, you should be checking your hepatotoxicity metrics. So I'm going to assume your dermatologist would probably have you getting blood work anyways to actually stay on the medication. I imagine that is going to be a necessity and a mandatory ask of you. So you have some sort of blood work, presumably, if you're on Accutane, because I can't imagine there'll be any other acne treatment you don't want to promote by accident, because it is, a pretty intense treatment after all. I've used it candidly, and it has permanently reduced my sebum production to a point where I have permanently dry lips now. It is a very potent drug, and I'm just assuming that's what he's on, because it's the most nuclear thing he could probably, that would be warranted for his scenario, probably. However, I think you need some full blood work, dude. I would be happy to cover a full comprehensive panel through my company, Merrick Health. We are a preventative medicine platform meant to be full spectrum diagnostics in order to stay on top of your lipid parameters, hematology, metabolic parameters, etc., and ensure that you are in tip-top shape and aren't screwing yourself up, because obviously we can see the cosmetic side effects through the acne and whatnot, supposedly, but your actual organ health, we don't know what that looks like. So to actually do this experiment properly and actually make sure you are being mindful of everything that you could be, I would absolutely highly encourage you to get a comprehensive blood panel. So I would compel you, if you want to take me up on it, hit me up. If you guys think he should take me up on it, hit him up and tell him to, take me up on it, and I will cover it through Merrick Health. It is would be my pleasure, and I'm interested to see if his blood work indicates that this guy is actually on gear, because I am skeptical, dude. That is that's all I have to say. This is an interesting scenario whereby what he's doing is obviously working. He's documenting this. He's up to almost 100,000 followers on TikTok. He is getting approached by sponsors, apparently. He's having people trying to cover his like dermatologist appointments or whatever. Like, the guy is obviously creating a bit of a stir, and it is hard to wrap your head around where we've come as an industry if indeed he is lying. A guy potentially lying in order to pretend he is on gear in order to gain a following faster. Like, that would be a full circle Inception level fucking scenario, in my opinion. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is actually on gear. And, like, I'm not certain myself, but I am highly skeptical. So, John, if you're on gear, dude, like, the best thing you could be doing, in my opinion, especially for your experiment, is getting elaborate diagnostics, and that would absolutely warrant a blood test. And I'm assuming you're at least checking your liver enzymes for your, you know, medication, presumably. So yeah, you know, just hit us up and we'll tack on, you know, a full diagnostic workup of your endocrinology, of your hematology, metabolic parameters, insulin sensitivity metrics, the works. I would be happy to cover it, and I'd be happy to, you know, even connect you with a medical provider to oversee your, you know, journey to make sure you don't fuck yourself up. Because at the end of the day, if this is something you just, you know, want to willy-nilly jump on without really a whole lot of insight as to the potential consequences and whatnot. Like, you didn't even know that it caused acne, apparently, which, you know, it fucking did, supposedly. So you can just imagine what's going on the inside, bro. So I would absolutely encourage you to take me up on it, and I encourage you guys to encourage him to take me up on it. So let us know, bro. I will set that up for you ASAP, and we can get you in a LabCorp immediately. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacemordates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplacemordates. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. Also subscribe. Creator Studio shows that some, you know, 50 to 55% that watch aren't subscribed or are subscribed. It's like 50-50 or something, but it tells YouTube to, you know, push this to a new audience that might otherwise be interested. And that's how the algorithm works here, is, you know, the positive reinforcement of engagement and subscribership. So, you know, to stay tuned, hit that subscribe button and like and comment to push the good old algo. Much appreciated. And anything I'm associated with, it's all in the video description below, including Merrick Health for your own full spectrum blood tests and medical provider access to oversee and interpret it and make warranted suggestions based on lifestyle, sleep hygiene, diet manipulations, pharmacology if warranted. If you are a guy who is, you know, in your younger years and jumping on shit haphazardly, you absolutely need a medical provider in your camp to oversee your stuff, because this stuff does not go risk-free. Even if you're tolerant of it in your youth, atherosclerosis starts in teenagehood, if not younger. Like, this is something that builds up over time. This is not something that just, you know, manifests out of thin air in your 50s when you have a jammer. It was building up for decades. So getting in front of it and understanding all of your diagnostic metrics is absolutely worthwhile. The earlier the better, in my opinion. So, and best case scenario, there's nothing wrong, at which point you would be happy to have that baseline panel should something go wrong in the future, where you can then go back and look at what went wrong and why, with that baseline panel as contextual benchmark of sorts. So anyways, check it out if you guys are interested, and I will talk to John when he reaches out and get him set up with some bloods. I'll talk to you guys soon.